Overcome your inner coward with daily courage. If your entire world started to collapse, would you stand tall or fall to pieces? What if courage isn't something you're born with, but something you build? In silence, under pressure, and through pain. And what if the map to that kind of courage was left behind nearly 2,000 years ago, hidden in the private notes of an emperor? Welcome to Live Stoic, Live Strong, where we trade illusions for truth. Si Chi Lung Groom, where emotions are felt but not obeyed, where clarity is power and discipline is freedom. Nisi Friet. This is not just a channel, Bea, it's a mindset. Nesi Gila. It's a journey of conscious living. Let's begin. I no longer wanted to be a bystander in my own life. During his reign as Emperor of Rome, Marcus Aurelius endured war, plagues, betrayal, and heartbreak. Yet, instead of breaking under the weight, he found courage, not in bravado, but in deep silence with himself. His private journal, now known as Nimeskal Meditations, became a mirror to the soul. Inspired by his reflections, we explore 5 Stoic principles for overcoming inner cowardice. Along this journey, meet Smith, a modern-day man whose quiet transformation speaks volumes. Asterisk 1. Stop blaming. Start reclaiming. Asterisk. Blame is warm, easy, and paralyzing. As Marcus wrote, blame no one. Set people straight if you can. If not, just repair the damage. Smith clung to blame like a blanket. In his early 20s, he spiraled into a digital abyss. 10 hours a day lost in TikTok, online games, streams. He blamed capitalism, his past, his introversion. But the truth? He was terrified of trying and failing. His health worsened, friends disappeared, and self-loathing grew. The real shift came when he whispered to himself, "This is my life, no one else's." It was the first moment he reclaimed it. Asterisk 2. Act, even while afraid. Asterisk. Courage isn't the absence of fear, but movement despite it. Smith drafted a plan. Uninstall apps, start gym sessions, write 1 honest page daily. Yet every step was haunted by doubt. What if I just quit again? But he clung to Marcus's wisdom. Concentrate every minute on doing what's in front of you. Stop letting your emotions override what your mind tells you. He learned to act without waiting to feel brave. Each small action carved a path through the fog. Asterisk 3. Your mistakes are gold in disguise. Asterisk. Every binge made Smith hate himself more, until he found kintsugi, the Japanese art of mending broken pottery with gold. It changed how he saw failure. He began to journal his missteps with compassion, not contempt. "These cracks," he wrote one day, "are where the light entered me." As Marcus said, "If anyone can refute me, I'll gladly change." With each mistake, Smith grew, not back to who he was, but into someone stronger. Asterisk 4. Humility sets you free. Asterisk. Like the fabled emperor, parading in invisible clothes, Smith feared being seen as broken. He wore masks of humor, sarcasm, and "I'm fine." Real strength came the day he confessed his struggles, to a friend, to a therapist, to himself. Marcus wrote, "Time, how brief and fleeting matter, how tiny your share of it." Smith realized his pride wasn't protecting him. It was imprisoning him. Humility didn't diminish him. It set him free. Asterisk 5. Do your best and let go. Gafki. Asterisk. The Stoics never promised outcomes, only effort. In his lowest moment, Smith read, "You could be good today. Instead, you choose tomorrow." That pierced him. From that day on, he chose today. He meditated 10 minutes, read a page of asterisk meditations, lifted weights. Not for vanity, but to remember he was alive. Progress was slow, but it was real. Smith isn't finished. None of us are. But now, he shows up for his life. He no longer watches from the sidelines. Eames takeaway, asterisk, asterisk. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. Smith chose better thoughts. And day by day, his soul remembered how to shine. From the bottom of my heart, I want to express my sincere gratitude to each and every one of you, no matter where you are in the world, for taking the time to watch this video. Your presence and support are the driving force that keeps me creating and sharing. No words can truly capture the depth of my appreciation. Thank you for being here. Thank you for believing, and thank you for walking this journey with me. During his reign over the Roman Empire, Marcus Aurelius endured a lifetime of storms, ones that would shake even the strongest souls today. He led his people through brutal wars, plagues that decimated populations, political conspiracies that reached into his own circle, the death of several of his children, and the devastating loss of his wife Faustina. These weren't passing tragedies, they were relentless. And yet, through all of it, Marcus remained calm, composed, unyielding. So where did his power come from? Thamel. Not from titles, not from armies, but from a quiet, disciplined practice of writing to himself. In the stillness of early mornings and the chaos of battlefields, he wrote down thoughts, reflections not for others, but to keep himself grounded. These writings would later become known as Meditations, one of the most enduring works of Stoic philosophy. And within its pages, we find a guide for living, not abstract theories, but tools for real courage in real life. From years of studying meditations, I've identified 5 core principles Marcus lived by. Principles that helped him overcome fear, grief, and the chaos of power. These are not just Roman ideas, they are universal human truths. As we explore them, you'll also hear stories, some from history, some from modern life, that bring Marcus's wisdom into vivid focus. Shield ready for the first principle? It begins with a shift in mindset so simple, so profound, it can change your entire response to adversity. Right finger. Look for solutions, not people to blame. Blaming others is comforting. At first, it gives your pain a name, a target. It lets you off the hook. But in the long run, blame is a trap. It paralyzes progress. Our inner coward loves blame because blame delays action. It whispers, "This isn't your fault. Someone else should fix this. Just wait." Yes, life is unfair. Yes, others may hurt you. But what good does pointing fingers do when your house is already on fire? As Marcus Aurelius wrote, blame no one. Set people straight if you can. If not, just repair the damage. And suppose you can't do that either. Then where does blaming people get you? Blame creates noise. Courage creates movement. Look at Martin Luther King Jr. He had every reason to point the finger, but he chose empathy. He chose action. He said, "We must realize so many people are taught to hate us, that they are not totally responsible for their hate." Instead of making it a war between races, he reframed it as a battle between justice and injustice. Uttery. He didn't wait for saviors. He became the example. Buttery Hawasheltable further. Through nonviolence, truth, and discipline, he helped ignite a revolution. Not with blame, but with moral clarity. So ask yourself, thought balloon, Am I using my energy to complain or to contribute? Thought balloon. Am I reacting like the crowd or responding like a creator? A courageous life begins not when you're no longer afraid, but when you stop using fear as a reason to do nothing. Seedling. Now let's move deeper to the next principle that will help you silence hesitation and trust your own inner compass. After we stop looking for someone to blame, the next challenge is even more personal: overcoming the war inside our own minds. Today, when we hear someone say, "Don't second-guess yourself," it doesn't mean you should leap into things carelessly. It doesn't mean you should silence your thinking or ignore consequences. It means this: once you've thought carefully, once you've made a decision, commit. Move forward. Don't let your mind become your cage, because that's exactly what happens when doubt, hesitation, and perfectionism take over. We turn into passive spectators in our own lives. There's an old poem, short and strange, yet surprisingly wise, called The Centipede's Dilemma, often attributed to Catherine Craster. In it, a centipede walks confidently, effortlessly coordinating its many legs, until, one day, a curious toad asks, "How do you manage to move all 100 legs in perfect harmony?" The centipede, caught off guard, begins to wonder the same thing. As soon as it thinks about it, it stumbles. Confused, tangled, frozen, the legs no longer move with ease. This is the cost of overthinking. We call this paralysis by analysis, and it's far more common than we admit. Our ability to reflect, plan, and reason is powerful. It's a gift. But it's a gift that must serve action, not replace it. Because the longer we remain in our thoughts, lost in the past or worried about the future, the more our courage fades. And in its place, fear. Fear must abate. Why is that? Fear is born in thought. But when your attention is fully rooted in the present moment, there's no time to fear, only room to act. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius gives us a command, both practical and spiritual. Concentrate every minute on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness. Free yourself from all other distractions. Stop letting your emotions override what your mind tells you. This is the mindset of a warrior. Act, correct, adapt, keep going. And yes, you will make mistakes. But here's the secret. That's not a flaw. It's part of the path. If you let fear of failure control you, you'll never move. But if you find beauty in your mistakes, you'll begin to see that each one is shaping you into someone wiser, humbler, stronger. The Japanese art of kintsugi teaches this truth beautifully. When a ceramic bowl is broken, the artist doesn't hide the cracks. Instead, they fill each fracture with gold, silver, or platinum, transforming the break into the most stunning part of the piece. The flaw becomes the highlight. The damage becomes the art. Your mistakes? They're your gold. But only if you choose to see them that way. Marcus wrote, "If anyone can refute me, show me I'm making a mistake or looking at things from the wrong perspective, I'll gladly change. It's the truth I'm after, and the truth never harmed anyone. What harms us is to persist in self-deceit and ignorance." True strength is not about being perfect. It's about being honest, flexible, open, and above all, humble. Because oddly enough, humility is what unlocks courage. Remember the tale of the emperor's new clothes? Two scammers visit a vain emperor and promise to make him a magical suit, one that can only be seen by the wise. Ashamed to admit he sees nothing, the emperor pretends the clothes are real. So does his court. He walks through the streets in invisible garments, too afraid to face the truth, until a child shouts, "He's not wearing anything!" That story isn't about an emperor. It's about all of us. When pride keeps us from seeing clearly, and fear keeps us from acting boldly. So ask yourself, thought balloon, what truth are you pretending not to see, just to avoid embarrassment? Thought balloon, what action are you delaying, just to stay comfortable? Because the moment you choose honesty over image and movement over fear, you become something few ever do, brave enough to be real. Seedling. Now let's take this one step further. In the next chapter, we'll look at how to align your productivity with purpose so that your actions don't just keep you busy, but move your life forward. In the previous section, we explored how humility sharpens courage, how dropping pride allows us to act with truth, even when it's uncomfortable. Now let's look at what happens when pride takes over, and how easily it can turn courage into cowardice. You may remember the famous fable, The Emperor's New Clothes. The emperor, known for his vanity and obsession with luxury, is approached by two swindlers who offer him a suit made of magical fabric. They claim this special material is invisible to anyone who is foolish or incompetent. The emperor, driven by ego and fearful of appearing unworthy, pretends to see the suit. His ministers, afraid to contradict him, do the same. And so, during the grand parade, the emperor proudly struts through the streets wearing absolutely nothing, believing, or pretending, that he's clothed in elegance. Then, a child points and laughs. The emperor has no clothes. And in that moment, the truth is laid bare, not just the emperor's body, but his fear of being wrong, his insecurity masked by pride, and his cowardice in disguise. This simple story is more than a fairy tale. Betrayal. It reminds us that pride often makes us too afraid to admit when we're wrong, too fearful to be seen as flawed. Betrayal. And that fear slowly robs us of the courage to face truth, take risks, or accept failure with grace. So what's the antidote? Right finger. Humble yourself, and you free yourself from the fear of being imperfect. You stop clinging to appearances. You stop hiding behind excuses. And you start living with clarity, even if it's uncomfortable. Marcus Aurelius put it bluntly. Remember, matter, how tiny your share of it. Time, how brief and fleeting your allotment of it. Fate, how small a role you play in it. In other words, do your best, then let go. Because no matter how much we try to control, life will always move with or without our approval. This is where faith becomes essential. Always, sometimes the deepest courage isn't about strategy or strength. Always, somehow, it's about trusting the unknown. Always, somehow, doing your best, and believing that, somehow, things will unfold as they should. A perfect example of this can be found in the story of Starbucks during the 2008 financial crisis. The company was on the brink of collapse. It had overexpanded, lost its identity, and faced new competition from chains like McDonald's, with their McCafe offerings. The brand that once stood for warmth, craft, and quality had become bloated and bland. In this moment of uncertainty, Howard Schultz, the company's former CEO, returned to lead again. In his book Onward, he reflects on that moment of decision. There are moments in our lives when we summon the courage to make choices that go against reason, against common sense, and the wise counsel of people we trust. But we lean forward nonetheless, because, despite all risks and rational arguments, we believe that the path we are choosing is the right and best thing to do. This wasn't blind optimism. Schultz had a plan. But before that, he had faith. Faith that acting with integrity, even if it meant losses in the short term, would ultimately lead to something better. And that faith gave him the courage to act. Because without faith in the process, there can be no bold steps forward. Sazin amaktur, ulsazin amaktur, thavan sake, no change, no revival, no return, thavan sake. Marcus Aurelius echoed the same principle nearly 2 millennia earlier. He does only what is his to do, and considers constantly what the world has in store for him, doing his best and trusting that all is for the best. For we carry our fate with us, and it carries us. So what can we learn here? Sometimes all you can do is show up. Do what's in front of you. Make your move. Then let the universe do the rest. Seedling. And now, as we come to the end of this journey, let's pause and gather the 5 lessons that can help any of us overcome fear and live with courage. These 5 principles from Marcus Aurelius aren't just philosophy. Cucurbi's bird. They're not motivational quotes. They're tools. For real life. For real struggle. And you won't always feel strong. You won't always feel brave. But you don't need to feel it. You just need to do it. Hammer and wrench. Look for solutions, not someone to blame. Tu Wang. Brain. Don't second guess yourself. Collision. Find the beauty in your mistakes. Folded hands. Humble yourself. Milky Way. Do your best and let go. The world will never hand you peace. Self. So make peace with yourself. Bao self. Act with clarity. Of. Self. Live with discipline. And when fear whispers, Bao self. Fear whispers, self. Stand still. Breathe deep. Move forward anyway. Yuma. Thank you for your time. If one idea touched you today, come back next time. It may reach deeper. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs a quiet moment. See you in the next video.